What is up? Welcome to Just Offside, the weekly MLS show where we take your comments and talk about them. My name is Louie and I'm joined here by Mikey.
What's up, guys?
If you're tuning in for the second week in a row, thank you so much for coming back and watching us after we've been away for a while. We really appreciate it. And on that note, let's get into the comments. Our friend Brad Jr. 10 says, welcome back. My best suggestion is to keep the channel MLS focused, do MLS-based news and discussion videos. I would not be worried about SKC and Atlanta. They both have traveled a lot and are playing for the CCL championship. So first of all, thanks Brad Jr. for continuing to comment and watch our stuff. You seem to comment almost every week and we love that. Thank you so much.
You're the man.
In terms of keeping the channel MLS focused, we do have a lot of ideas centered around American soccer in general. We do want to be covering a lot more MLS stuff. And if you want any more content on the MLS, we actually have a weekly podcast where we dive into a lot of the issues surrounding soccer, not only in America, but also around the world. But we do dive into a lot of the MLS supporter culture, a lot of the things surrounding the MLS. Especially because, you know, we are here in the U.S. and we want to support and talk about American soccer. But yes, we do have a couple of other ideas coming along with, in terms of MLS-focused videos and content. So keep an eye out. We have stuff coming very soon.
All right, guys, the next one's from Sebastian Gomez. He says, nice to see y'all back on here. But real talk, those idiots who are talking smack about Frank need to chill. You can't put a coach in and expect to win after win. Frank still needs to get his feet wet in this league since it's not the same as Europe. Plus, most people complain about Atlanta and what's going on tend to lack knowledge about the game. Hey, Sebastian, thank you for being loyal to our show. I wonder how Frank's feeling now. Dropped a couple more points this weekend, but we'll get into that in the show. And thank you to our guy, Ben Righam. He says, feels good to be back, fellas. And you're right, Ben. It does feel good to be back.
And Jace Murray says, can you pretty please stop saying the MLS? Just stick with MLS. It's weird otherwise. So I have a question. I mean, I can kind of see where you're coming from. It is Major League Soccer, but don't people say the MLB, the NFL, the NBA?
I feel like it adds the suspension to it.
I'm just like, I mean, if it bothers you that much, I'm sorry. I'll try to just say MLS, but it makes sense to me to write the MLS rather than, you know, MLS. MLS is just like, it's like a stop.
Yeah, MLS just sounds like it's the little brother. We're the big brother now. The MLS.
All right, thank you all for leaving your comments, and don't forget to leave your comments for this week's show down below, and we will feature you next week. But all right, Mikey, let's get into the action. Let's get into what people came here to see. Two dummies talking about the MLS. This past weekend's big game saw the Portland Timbers visiting LAFC in a wild game.
Oh, yeah.
All I've got to say is Carlos Vela is a monster.
Unstoppable.
The dude was involved in every single goal for LAFC.
Literally every single goal.
Provided the corner for the first goal, basically built the second goal up before making that pass and then getting it scored on.
Third goal was his assist to Diamande, and Diamande gave him one back.
No, and that final one was just a cherry on the top of the cake because the game was 3-1 at this point, but Carlos Vela just put in a curler around the keeper to seal it. And just like a man-of-the-match performance.
Clearly man-of-the-match performance.
Probably the best player in all of MLS this past week, I will say. So after that performance from Carlos Vela, that is 2 wins out of 2 against teams that ended up finishing higher than LAFC last season in the playoffs. And LAFC are looking good, man.
Man, they're on a 2-0 run right now. First 2 games, first 2 wins. And they're looking unstoppable, to be honest, man. I think they're going to keep going.
And I think it's early, but they just look so good. Like I said last week, I think that they could be the only team that could really emulate Atlanta's second season success could be this LAFC team.
I could see it. I mean, they are the bigger brother in LA.
And as for Portland, this is their second game losing pretty convincingly. They've allowed 7 goals in 2 games. It's not exactly the best start for the MLS Cup finalists last year.
And they're known as a powerhouse, so this is definitely a rough start for them. Kind of like a reality check, you might say.
I just think it might just be a slow start for the season. But let us know, guys. Is LAFC currently the best team in the West? I absolutely believe so, especially when Carlos Vela is on form. There is very few teams that I think that can stop them in the West. Moving along to another team out West who also picked up their second win from 2 games. The Seattle Sounders beat the Colorado Nobodies 2-0. And And this is funny for a Seattle team that typically starts the seasons out slow. They usually struggle at the beginning of the season before picking it up midway through. And as we saw last year, they go on these epic runs. Seems like they're starting their run early.
Oh yeah, definitely got their shooting boots on. They hit the ground running this year. They didn't want to start slow. They wanted to bring the pace in.
Rui Diaz was lively, looking good, scored, and Jordan Morris almost had an assist if Harry Shipp hadn't just sent it to Jupiter with the shot way over the bar.
The goal was wide open. How are you gonna do that?
It was like, I'm pretty sure, I keep saying this, but like I'm pretty sure I could have hit that goal.
Yeah, comment on that one too. I don't think Louis could hit that goal.
So while Colorado isn't exactly the best team in the league, Seattle did look good. So let us know, guys, where does Seattle rank for you? Where do you feel in this early season that they kind of fit within the landscape of MLS?
I don't know, man. MLS, the West is hot right now. There's 3 teams with 2 wins right now, tied for first. Speaking of that third team in the West, Minnesota United picked up another 3 points quietly away from home. Chris Wondolowski still chasing Landon Donovan's goal-scoring record right now. They didn't get it, but
got close. Was very, very close in that.
And then the whole tide changed for them, and Minnesota picked up the game, and they looked unbeatable.
And honestly, Minnesota has been impressing me lately with these past 2 games.
Oh, yeah.
They really seem to want to inaugurate this new stadium with a very good squad.
Exactly. Another Darwin Quintero goal. He's looking lively right now.
And it's actually impressive because Minnesota's playing the first 5 weeks of the MLS season away from home as they're putting up the finishing touches on that new stadium. And now imagine this. Imagine Minnesota going beaten into the opening of Allianz Field. Imagine how much that place is going to be rocking on opening night for them.
As a fan base, you want nothing less. You know what I mean? It's going to be exciting. I think it'll be exciting for the team. It'll definitely bring a lot of momentum to them if they definitely have a big opening night.
Unfortunately for San Jose, they continued their last season form of just sucking. And I don't know, guys. Let us know what's going on in San Jose. What needs to change? Did you think that the new coach was going to bring about new changes? Is Almeida the right coach for you guys?
And while Chris Wondolowski's still looking to break Landon Donovan's record, do you think he'll do it soon? Do you think he'll do it at all? Let us know.
It's like almost a foregone conclusion at this point, right? That he's going to beat it.
I don't know, man. What if they never really pick up anything? You know what I mean?
Imagine San Jose just suck for the rest of the season. Chris Wondolowski gets 0 goals. God, that's like a nightmare for you guys. I'm sorry.
Hey, man. Sucks to be from San Jose, huh?
And Minnesota United fans, are you confident in going unbeaten until the opening of Allianz Field, or am I just putting unnecessary expectations on your team? Atlanta United versus FC Cincinnati. Man, this game did not go as planned. Atlanta United back home after a disappointing loss to DC last week in front of their home crowd of 70,000 people. This was supposed to be the moment where they kickstart their season, where they get everybody back in gear and everybody starts playing well. And it looked that way.
It definitely started that way. Another Joseph Martinez goal. He looks to keep up his form from last season. But man, after that, they look dead.
They did, and it must be so rough to be Joseph Martinez right now, because your partner in crime, your bestest buddy, Miguel Almirón, is living it up in the Prem, and you have to deal with this team just not clicking right now.
And like he said, this is his Barcelona, so I feel like he kind of feels like it might be all on him too.
I mean, I'm not sure. He was definitely frustrated at the end of that game. You saw him as he came off. He kind of like, one of the press people wanted to talk to him. He like slapped their hand out of the way, and he really just wasn't having it. He is not happy with Atlanta's form. Clearly, I mean, yeah, they have the one win in the CONCACAF Champions League that moved them into the next round, but they also lost really terribly last week in the CONCACAF Champions League in Mexico, and so this season really hasn't been going the way that Atlanta wanted it to be. A lot of people were talking about how they were going to be the first MLS team to win the CONCACAF Champions League, and sure, they can still technically do that, but it's just not looking that convincing.
It's not. And is it the new coaching? Is that the problem?
I mean, this is the funny part, right? Like, this is the talk that's going to dominate the beginning of the season until things start to shift, right? I said it last week, and honestly, I still think it's too early to be judging Frank de Boer, but at the same time, when you're clearly not seeing what you want to be seeing, and it's just not sounding right. Like, this week he came out and said that fans need to temper their expectations. Like, I'm sorry. These are people who broke all expectations when they were awarded a franchise. They started filling up that stadium with 70,000 people. They started playing the most exciting football in the MLS last year.
Literally. They took MLS last year. They took the league by their neck and literally dominated it. and you're going to tell the fans to expect less? No way, you cannot say that.
And it just, and like, I understand where he's coming from, but it just sounds so poor. It just comes off so terribly.
It sounds like he's making up excuses for why his team's not doing anything.
But let us know, guys. I'm going to ask it again. Unfortunately, we're probably going to ask this every single week until we get a good answer. Is Frank de Boer the guy to lead Atlanta this year? But not to take anything away from Party Poopers FC Cincy, they won their first points in the MLS and silenced 70,000 people.
Imagine that, dude. First year you go up against reigning champions at their home, known for being the best fans in the MLS, and they shut them down.
But yeah, definitely don't want to take anything away from Cincy. They clawed back through Roland Lamah, and they actually probably even should have had 2 goals when Fernando Adi's goal was disallowed for offside. So they looked lively in that second half.
They definitely looked good.
And my God, that pass from their new DP Safe for Roland Lamah, it was exquisite. Like, that just took out Atlanta completely from the game.
Oh yeah, you can just see it. All of the defenders were like, who was covering him? He broke down the defense. Man, what a goal.
So, FC Cincy supporters, how are you feeling after this tie? I know it was just a draw, but it's against the reigning champs. How are you guys feeling? Is this a momentum-building win? What's next?
And Cincy fans, how do you guys feel about your new DP? You think he's looking good? Another big game between NYCFC and DC United, which seemed to be like it was a show for the goalies. Bill Hamid and Sean Johnson just made saves that they had no business making. Absolutely crazy game for them. If you could give a man of the match to both of them, they could have split it, honestly.
I mean, it seems fitting. They split the points on the weekend. Let them split man of the match. They did look good. Between Bill Hamid and Sean Johnson, who would you prefer as your starting keeper? Let us know in the comments below. Moving down south to our favorite soccer state of Texas. Houston Dynamo hosting Montreal Impact. And Houston were actually resting a bunch of their players for this game because they have a CONCACAF Champions League game coming this week. And yet they still managed to win.
And I think it was pretty convincingly as well. Another goal for Mauro Menates. 5th goal in 5th MLS game. Seeming to be picking up his form from the end of the season last year. Continuing it. Even though they rested some of their team, Houston still picked up 3 crucial points. Let us know what you guys think. Do you think Menotes can keep up his goal-scoring streak? Can he challenge for the Golden Boot? Is that too high of an expectation? Let us know. Moving up to the Blue Hell in Kansas City, where Sporting Kansas City hosted the Philadelphia Union. Man, that match. And you can tell Philly was not ready for the Blue Hell. Man, Sporting Kansas City looked to be on top of them the whole time. Another goal for Christian Nemeth.
And Revs fans, I'm sorry. It just seems that he likes to score more in Kansas City than he ever did in New England.
Maybe the grass is bluer on the other side. Blue grass, that'd be kind of hard.
Like Boise?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Dude, someone should do that. And if it would be Sporting Kansas City to just do like bluegrass.
Just for like even one game.
Because even just like watching Boise play like college football, it's just dope. Like it's just bluegrass.
Dude, and people get scared of that shit.
Yeah, it's like an intimidation factor. You get there and it's just blue.
Baby blue at that.
Imagine a baby just painting the... that'd be so cool. Because I think they... I don't know if it's grass or if it's turf. If it's turf there, make it blue turf. Like, that'd be so cool.
That would be pretty cool. And another penalty saved by Tim Melia, his 21st in his MLS career. And that is absolutely big, man. That is something some goalkeepers cannot do.
No, and it was a very good save, but our favorite soap opera star on the other end of that, Marco Fabian, had a very frustrating day. Getting his pen saved, getting sent off, and he might feel that it was a little unjust because where was he supposed to put his foot?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, things did not go well for Marco Fabian this week at all.
Do you guys think he deserved that red? Because I definitely do.
Why is that?
I mean, move your foot from there, honestly. Like, you shouldn't have put your foot there in the first place. Kind of stupid, kind of risky. Maybe it's the frustration fact. Definitely the PK might have rattled him up a little bit.
I wonder, man. I mean, I know he's trying to get the ball over the defender, and he ended up just falling. So it's a rough one. I can definitely see why it was given, but I don't know if it was.
That's the one where you step on the guy's chest, right? Oh, what? Yeah, you definitely deserve that, bro. Yeah, no. 3-game suspension.
And to that point, now Philly has to go face Atlanta without Marco Fabian. It's really not looking great for Philly at the beginning of the season here.
Definitely not, especially having to go from Blue Hell in Kansas City to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Man, that's tough.
But Philly fans, let us know, can Philly pick it up? Atlanta seems to be on the back foot. Can Philly get a win next week?
For Philly, I think it's a great time to capitalize, especially since Atlanta's coming off a draw. They seem to be a little unsettled right now, so if any time's to strike right now, this is the time. Also, sporting fans, what do you guys think about your newest signing, Gideon Zelalem from Arsenal? Do you guys think he's going to fit into your system? Do you think he's going to play well? And what do you guys think his impact's going to be?
Moving along to our last game that we're going to be covering this week, the New England Revolution versus the Columbus Crew. Honestly, poor defending from New England and missed opportunities
Definitely.
completely ruined this game. Michael Mancian, the highest paid defender in the MLS, was just named captain of the New England Revolution for the season. And twice he was directly at fault for Gyasi Zardes to score.
Literally.
The cross comes in. Mancian is in front of Zardes. Okay, the sun is in his eyes. You are a experienced defender. You could have put a head on that to take it off of him. You just let the ball go right over you and gifted Zardes a goal.
What are you going to say, that you've never played under a game of sun? Like, come on, guy, get your big forehead on there.
And I don't want to be too harsh on Diego here, because, I mean, it wasn't the world's worst penalty. It's just that you're going up against probably the best goalkeeper in all of North America in Zach Steffen. The dude is a behemoth in front of goal.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly shows why Man City signed him for what they did, but, I mean, still, you get a pen, you're hoping that you're going to score it. That's what most soccer players assume. Like, we get a penalty, it's going to be a goal.
And do you think if he had scored that penalty, would that have changed the momentum of the game?
Absolutely, because at that point, the game would have become 1-1. It might have opened it up a little bit more for the Revs. I mean, Columbus only scored their second goal in like the 95th minute, and so to an extent, you can almost be like, oh, but the game was almost over and they just shut off. I'm like, you are professional soccer players. You don't shut off.
Exactly.
You were turned on until the final whistle. Again, Michael Mancian and Brandon Bai caught napping, and a ball comes over from Zach Steffen over the halfway line. They're not offsides, and all of a sudden it's another easy goal for Gyasi Zardes. I don't think Gyasi Zardes has ever had an easier game of his life to score 2 goals.
2 easy goals. I honestly think you could have scored both those goals.
Thanks, man.
Gotcha.
But anyway, Columbus Crew, how good does it feel to still be in the MLS? How good does it feel to still be in Columbus? Is Caleb Porter the guy to lead you into the next era?
Definitely a new era for the Crew. New owners, people that actually want them to be where they have to be.
And hopefully a new downtown stadium. It seems like you guys have some cool plans. I'm excited to see what happens out of Columbus. And shout out to the fans out there. You guys legitimately saved your club. And I never thought that American soccer fans were going to have that kind of impact on a franchise/club in America, but you did. So fucking kudos to you guys. You killed it. And I'm just so happy you guys are still in Columbus.
Honestly, thank you guys. Revs fans, let us know what you guys think about Brad Friedel right now. Do you guys still think he's the man to lead the team? And Robert Kraft is just way too busy getting handies in Florida to worry about the Revs. Like, come on.
Like, bro, you got work to do. Come on. Bro. You don't own just one team. You actually own 4.
4?
Yeah, he's got the Revs, the Pats, the Esports League, and now a lacrosse team that's going to be playing at Gillette.
And I bet you he's going to invest way more money into a league like the lacrosse league than he will into the MLS.
Which is sad.
Revs fans, do you guys want a new owner? ? My first week here, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys want me back? Do you guys not want me back? Because if you guys don't want me back, then Lou's going to be lonely. And, man, I don't want my guy to be lonely.
Aw, thank you. So there you have it, guys. Another week of MLS action in the books. Don't forget to leave those comments below. Let us know what you think. Let us know how we can get better. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe and that like button. And let us know how we... Did we miss anything this week? Is there something that we didn't talk about that we should have? Let us know.